Hey everyone, and welcome to a Polar Bear Hearts of Iron 4 update. In most mods I'd be very confused at what a Polar Bear Hearts of Iron 4 update meant outside of some sort of April 1st context, but in this mod it's not too out there. Now though we play as them, they have a lot of lore, and they usually are in a dangerous situation because they're right next to the much more powerful and aggressive changeling lands. Often before this update it wasn't surprising to see them become a puppet of the changeling lands through, I believe, one of the changeling's focuses and events that they would get. Now though, I don't know if that's going to be likely. First though, we have to do this mini focus tree. All these focuses don't take much time, so it'll only be a few months before we're through with this, but I'm sure that focus tree will set us on a course for the rest of the playthrough. It also looks like we have one unique decision category, or maybe this is more just like lore and it's not actually doing much, just giving us information about certain clans. Very interesting. For national spirits, we have one good one and three bad ones. This one being very bad. It's very scary to have a national spirit that's that bad. We're starved for research slots too. And we have empty cellars too, no money, no food. Or I guess maybe just no money. Hopefully not no food. That would be another problem. But yeah, not a good situation in a lot of ways. We're at least not the weakest country on this continent. Out of all the small countries up here, we're number 2 behind Nova Griffonia, so we can't complain too much. We can complain a little though. And yeah, too, of course, we can't use any factories, so no point setting anything up there. We do have some military factories at least though, and we're making traditional, it looks like polar bear armor. That's great. And maybe by nationalizing the fish farms here, we'll be able to get one usable civilian factory, maybe. I don't think 5% consumer goods will do it, but it maybe could. We're at -1 now, so it might put us at 0 at least. And it appears those fish farms that were nationalized are now destroyed, so yeah, no 0 factories for us. Okay, I see what's going on here now though. Whenever we do one of these focuses that give us something good, a few days later we get an event and it switches out the good focus for a bad one. Well, at least we invented fighter planes. That's the one positive thing that has happened that I think will stay. While technically possible, it's very rare for technology to be unresearched, so I think we're at least safe with this one positive. Okay, so we decided to welcome all the exiles back, and now we have some internal issues, some insanity to deal with. We're going to side with the Thunder Lord. That sounds like a pretty good faction to go with. Great idea. All of our divisions are up here now. Fun. Okay, and this is interesting. Instead of a normal civil war, we might just get an event chain that slowly demilitarizes areas. Yeah, so that appears to be what's happening. We've demilitarized more territory now, and I assume by the time we finish this focus tree, we'll have demilitarized all of our territory, and then we'll get to a normal focus tree potentially. It looks like for all these focuses, we have 2 options. One, the normal option, and then one that says taking this option may result in inability to access certain content, though perhaps if the machine of death grinds onward, a darker path may be taken. I'm just gonna do the left one though. Maybe we can save the other one for another day. And we do finally have now one civilian factory, so in 8 years we will finish building a new civilian factory. Okay, good. The entire country is now demilitarized. We have our new leader. Still only one factory, but that will be fixed, I'm sure. This is a rather big focus tree. See, I guess this one is the path that we do if we do all the evil decisions, but since we did all the nice decisions, we get this path. And we get a new name too, very nice. Our color changes a little bit, and we're the Great Polar Bear Realm. Our nice new flag. Maybe we'll have to end this storm playthrough by conquering the Stormlands way down here. I'm sure that'll be easy. We'll just need to invade Equestria, get these islands, invade these islands, then maybe we can get naval supremacy to this island. These are some interesting ending paths here though. Like this one here appears to be the most useful path to go down because we actually get war goals on people. This one looks the most cool though, featuring focuses like Exalt the Great and United with the Wilds. Or we can do the Navy one. This is weird though. You go to war against Hawkland? This is definitely interesting. There are a lot of possibilities. I'm guessing we'll want to strike fast before these other nations get strong. Well, it looks like in terms of military size, we might kind of be weaker than them. Besides, maybe we can go after the penguins. There isn't tension enough to justify. But it looks like right here, if we do this focus, we can send them an ultimatum. So we will rush down to that to send them the ultimatum as soon as possible, and then maybe we'll have more than one civilian factory. Once we get there, 3 civilian factories. That'll be great. Okay, and the penguins say no. This should maybe have been a bit obvious, considering the next focus just gave us a war goal against them. I assume there are situations in which they can just give up, but that is not the case today. I think they only have 4 divisions, so we should be able to win this with our 10 divisions. We also have a lot of Navy experience, but Navy experience doesn't quite win wars. I'll put my Navy on strike force though, just so they don't do some weird miracle naval invasion of us. I guess we should probably do a naval invasion of them. Speaking about it, their capital might be annoying to get to. If we have the naval invasion tech, that is. Yeah, good. 2, before we start this, we'll get this advisor, which gives us stability and compliance gain. Granny Bear. That's good. And then we have a very obvious war plan, which is to break this tile, and then this tile, take the port, and encircle this division. I have a feeling this plan is going to be a huge success. And yeah, the naval invasion is going forward. This division got encircled. I just need to, though, keep the offensive up here, or we'll get stuck behind this river forever. So if we can cross the river, that'll make things easier. And as long as I pin these divisions, we should be able to do that. Yeah, looks like they're defending their capital from the naval invasion, so things won't be too easy. But I believe we will be able to get an additional encirclement here. As long as we don't do too good, we should be able to keep ahead of these divisions here before they can get into another defensive position across a river in the forest, which would be catastrophic. And the more encirclements we can get to, the better. We just need to make sure not to get encircled ourselves. We don't really have manpower to spare. And there we go, a nice victory. We'll make sure to take their navy too, and that should be all. Once we finish this focus, we will now do this focus, or not this one here, to go to war with Virgilia. Probably do this first so we can start integrating the penguins. And then we will go to war with Virgilia before Nova Griffonia finishes them off. So now we have this unique occupation law, and once we get to 40% compliance, the penguins will automatically be integrated into the polar bear realm. And that'll be good. We need the extra cores. We do though now have 4 civilian factories, so that is great. Once we have 15, I'll start building mills. And interesting, this focus gives us war goals against both Nova Griffonia and Virgilia. Nova Griffonia, I guess we could take out, but they might be a little bit of a challenge. We're a little low on infantry equipment right now, so we're having some struggles. I'll try to get ready for them though. We have plenty of manpower. Anyways, into Virgilia, let's go. You know who I really wish was in this mod? Herbert from Club Penguin. He has to be in here somewhere, right? The chances are very high. There aren't that many like famous fictional polar bears. He has to be like one of the only. Okay, this is a bit of a difficult war, but we finally took the supply hub here, so now we're the ones with supply and they have no supply, so we should finally be able to turn this around. If we can take this tile and this tile, then everything will be encircled. And as long as we're pinning them like this, they probably won't be able to actually move back to where they do have supply. Oh no, we almost got the encirclement, but then a border war started, so now we don't have control over our divisions. We're actually fighting 2 border wars, so all of our divisions are now going away besides this one division. I think we're gonna just lose all the progress that we've made now because of the border war, and I think we're gonna lose the border war too. Okay, well, I guess we lost. We do get a really big focus tree still, but I'm not that interested in playing a protector, especially under such cheap circumstances. They should have at least had to fight us in a real war. Okay, in take 2, things went much better. With the foresight that the changelings would start a border war with us without any notice, I was able to actually defeat the border war and defeat Virgilia this time. So I guess now we can maybe go after Nova Griffonia. They have 3 more military factories than us though, and a larger army, so that might be a bad idea. And with the army we do have, we're 7,000 guns in debt, so we should probably build up our forces a bit. I just don't want to wait too long until Stalingrad declares on Nova Griffonia. We have a great infantry genius, the Eternal, a polar bear-like monstrosity with 6 limbs and covered in shaggy white fur. Its great mouth is filled with wicked and sharp teeth with 2 great fangs that could pierce skulls at the front. It may walk upright on 2 legs or bear-like on 4, but other times it uses all 6 limbs. It's greater in size than any bear and stronger by far. Well then, I guess we'll get that guy. We'll probably need his help to win this thing. At least Nova Griffonia Griffonia is kind of attritioning themselves while they're just waiting to go into a war. Okay, so we're now going to invade Nova Griffonia. Even though they have a bigger industry and army than us, this should not be too difficult because they aren't that powerful, and we're already getting encirclements up here potentially. We also have a really good fallback line along this river and these mountains here, and then these forests are basically impenetrable. We'll just have to see what happens. If we can get this encirclement, this will be an easy war. If we don't get this encirclement, then this war might go on for a while. Okay, encirclement's a bit slow, but it's coming along. As long as we don't get pushed out of this mountain tile, we should be fine, and mountain tiles are the best tile to defend in, so that's very nice. Our only issue is supply. They're also taking more casualties than us too, which is an important metric to watch. Also, these impenetrable forest tiles are becoming slightly less impenetrable than I thought, but we at least have some nice mountain tiles to fall back to, and a lot of these divisions here aren't really doing anything. They're just kind of sitting on the other side of this river, not in any danger at all, so I will reroute them back here. Okay, and we lost the mountain tile. We might get it back, but we did get our first encirclement of 5 divisions. I don't think clearing up these 5 divisions will put us on equal playing ground, but it will make me a little less concerned about our possibility for success. This tank is badly placed though in this forest here, so we should maybe be able to encircle 2 more divisions, potentially. Or I guess they're being smart and counterattacking, but we might be able to counterattack the counterattacks here. And yeah, that should encircle them. That's good. I also would like to go here and here. Getting through this mountain tile would be terrible, but it's very likely we can get through these forest tiles and encircle these 4 divisions, including a light tank. Then too, once we finish this up, we'll have to be looking to deal with the changelings and the yaks. Changelings will go to war with Equestria soon, and it would be nice to attack them while they're in that war and before they win or lose. The yaks need to finish their civil war before we can invade them. They're weaker than us now though, so it should be easy whenever that happens. And it took a little while, but we finally got the supply hub here. It's connected through sea, but we will build a railroad to manually connect it by land too. I guess we should also probably connect the Penguin Railroad network to our railroad network by land just in case something happens. I think after clearing up these pockets, the armies will be equal, and all I really need is the armies to be equal to win this. And hopefully we'll be able to do a lot of stuff like this too. We'll pin this division here, but then send a lot of divisions around it and rack up small encirclements. Yeah, and see, they got another division in there, but all that's going to do is get more divisions encircled. Yeah, and this area here, this like thin sliver of land between the shores and the impassable terrain is an amazing spot to get a ton of encirclements. Everything is kind of perfect here. They still are garrisoning their entire border here and here, so I don't really want to battle plan until there are holes in their line. We're now doing this amazing focus, raise legions of beasts, which gives us 10% division attack and defense, which is great. It'll go great with our friendly beast here, giving us plus 15% division attack and 20% infantry division defense. We should get another division encircled here too. And then we happen to be only provinces away from their capital, which is great. We can see some factories, and then maybe they'll lose the production edge they've had the entire war. Okay, and perfect. They've finally capitulated. I believe we will be restoring some sort of puppet state in here, but for now I'll just annex everything until we do the focus. Anyways, I did decide to do the cool nature above all one instead of the maybe better one in terms of what the focuses give. This one has some cool stuff though. And the thing is about these war goals is we can just manually justify war, like justifying against the changelings, which we will do very soon, probably right now, will only take 20 days, whereas this focus takes 35 days, so not too necessary. The only real downside is we don't get this integrated puppet for free in Nova Griffonia, but it might be best to just have this stuff and grow compliance in it anyway. Regardless, that's where we'll end things for today. If you guys like this, I will make a part 2 where we invade the changelings, but I'll see you all next time.